Hey friends, can you name the 5 standard contingencies a buyer has based on the car residential purchase agreement? That's right, the 5 standard contingencies on the RPA that always apply unless they are waived. If you're not able to name these off the top of your head, you are not alone. Most agents, at least the agents I work with, can only name half of these. I just had an agent call me on one of our deals and saying, Jimmy, I think we have an issue with one of our buyers on Main Street. They're having a hard time getting fire insurance. And I said, well, that's not good. Your buyer has already removed all their contingencies. The agent goes on to say, well, I didn't even know fire insurance was a buyer contingency. Friends, it is not uncommon for me to come across similar situations because of the agent's lack of understanding of basic contingencies. I'm going to quickly go over these so you know what they are so you can be better prepared when you're negotiating an offer for your clients. You will find all buyer standard contingencies listed in the contingency section, which is section L on page 2 of the RPA. All of them by default are 17-day contingencies. All of you are familiar with the first two listed, the loan contingency and the appraisal contingency. But the most overlooked contingency is the third one, the investigation of property contingency. For example, I see most agents name inspection contingency on their counteroffers. However, nowhere in this section does it mention the term inspection contingency. That's because the physical inspection of the property is part of the investigation contingency. If you want to find out more about what the investigation contingency covers, you can go to paragraph 12 of the RPA. You can also review the buyer investigation advisory attached right after the last page of the RPA. The fourth contingency you see listed there is the review of seller documents contingency. This includes all disclosures and reports that come from the seller. This is not part of the investigation of property contingency. And lastly, the review of the preliminary report. This is separate from seller disclosures and reports. This gives the buyer a chance to review all liens the property has, including property taxes, easements, etc. Again, these 5 contingencies always apply unless they are waived. As you can see, there are 3 other contingencies: the common interest disclosures, review of leased or lien items, and the sale of buyer's property contingency. These last 3 only apply if either the property is part of an HOA, has solar panels, has a PACE or HERO lien, the buyer is contingent upon selling their house, or any combination of these. Now, if you look at the buyer's contingency removal form in paragraph 2, these same contingencies are listed exactly the same way they are listed in the RPA. The only difference is that the investigation of property contingency and the review of seller documents contingency are broken down in case your buyer wants to remove only part of these. For example, in the investigation of property contingency, you'll find inspections concerning the physical attributes of the property, and you'll also find investigations regarding the insurability of the property, including fire insurance and flood insurance. Now, look out for my next video as I talk about why you may want to think twice about countering an inspection contingency. I'll see you on the next one.